Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out 50 weird and confusing facts about British life and culture.
Hello everyone and welcome back to English with Lucy.
Hello.
Today I'm very hot and it's only 19 degrees. We're going to talk about that later. Today I'm going to talk to you about 50 weird and random facts about British culture. Fact number 1, tea is by far the most popular drink drunk by Brits. Maybe you knew this.
Everyone knows this, right?
But apparently we drink 165 million cups of tea every single day. Bananas. I've drunk no tea today. It's not my favourite. I don't hate it. I'll have it if I'm offered, but yeah. Number 2, on our main TV channels, that's channel 1 and 2 and quite a few others, they're run by the BBC and we don't have any adverts. This is because we pay a licence fee. And I think it's over £100 a year, but basically we have to pay. If we have a TV, we have to pay it, even if we don't want to watch the BBC.
What?
Now, I kind of like it because I like ad-free TV, but I also don't want the BBC to tell me whether I can have a TV or not.
Oh my gosh. So if you have a TV, you have to pay for the BBC. That's so different. That's so different than here. The closest thing that we have to that in America would probably be NPR, National Public Radio. But they still have to do fundraisers like once or twice a year. The government does finance some of it, but most of it is financed by donations.
Number 3, queues are incredibly important to us. If you push into a queue, if you queue jump, you will be universally hated in Britain. It doesn't make sense.
Happens here all the time.
Comment below if queues are important in your country, because I went to Spain and I lived there for a while and people did not respect queues. When I lived in Spain, I remember being in a bank and some lady thought that her problem was more important than my problem and she just pushed in and was like, sorry, this is an emergency. I was like, in Britain that would never happen.
Yeah, that happens in America a lot. It's one of my pet peeves. A move that some people will make when they're trying to skip in line or queue is they will see someone in line that they know, maybe, or maybe they don't know them, but they'll go up and ask them a question. They'll start a conversation with them, and then before you know it, they've taken ownership of that place in the queue or in line. It's not fair.
Number 4, please, sorry, and thank you basically dominate all of our social interactions. It's so ingrained into our brains that we often bump into things and then apologise to the inanimate object. Like I have whacked my shoulder on a door and said, oh, sorry, and then felt really stupid and British at the same time. But yeah, just a simple task like passing the salt at a dinner table. Sorry, please could you pass the salt? Thank you. Sorry, excuse me, please. Honestly, we say it about 8 times.
I think in America we have a little bit of that, but people don't usually say please and thank you. Saying sorry in small talk like that feels almost like a blanket excuse for interrupting someone.
Number 5, when you greet a friend in the UK, you don't normally shake their hand. Normally, you give them 1 kiss on the cheek. If you've recently been in the rest of Europe, then you might give 2 kisses by mistake and say, oh, sorry, I've just got back from France, just got back from Spain. And if you're feeling very masculine and you are with another very masculine person, then even though you know them very well, you might still shake their hand, but that's only if you're very, very masculine.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I shook someone's hand. My close friends, whenever I see them, I hug them, or we'll do a fist bump, or like a handshake half hug, or we won't touch bodies at all. We'll just say, hey, what's up? I've never kissed someone on the cheek when greeting them. Wait, maybe I have, but it's because they did it to me first, and it was weird. It's weird. We don't do that. Don't put your mouth on my face. Only my mom can do that, or my significant other.
Number 6, when the sun comes out, because it doesn't come out so often, we make the most of it. In 15-degree heat, we will wear sandals, mini skirts, strappy tops, bikinis, and we will get very, very sunburnt as well. The day after a sunny day, everyone is red. It's terrible.
Oh, that's funny.
Also, our houses are not designed to cope with the heat. As I'm experiencing right now, It's 19 degrees outside and I am absolutely dying.
I know she's talking Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit? I have no idea. 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. That's nice weather. Wait. So that's warm to her? Okay. I just want to point out that where I live, it's sunny and 74 degrees Fahrenheit, which is how many degrees Celsius? Which is 23 degrees Celsius. Y'all, I'm going to brag here a little bit. I've not turned my air conditioner on in over a year. I just opened my windows. Yeah, that's too braggy. I live in LA. That's easy to do. Sorry for bragging. That's not cool.
Number 7, British cuisine. Well, our most known dish is probably the Sunday roast or beef and Yorkshire puddings. However, we actually voted for our national dish and we voted for a chicken tikka masala, which is an Indian dish.
It's good. I'm going to correct you, Lucy. Chicken tikka masala was created in Britain. Fun fact. Who needs to learn English now, Lucy?
Number 8, if you are on public transport, it is highly expected that you give up your seat for an elderly person or a disabled person.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, people will tut at you. This is a very British thing.
Tut?
People just go, We don't like to be too direct. Sometimes we muster up enough courage to say, excuse me, that person needs that seat, but we're not going to be too confrontational about it. And if we are ever confrontational with someone on public transport, we spend the next week coming down from the adrenaline and replaying the situation in our head, telling our mates about it. It's a big deal. Number 9, our humour can be quite difficult to understand. We love sarcasm. We have quite dark sense of humour. We can be quite dry, so we can say things without smiling. I love the British sense of humour, but it can offend people sometimes. So it's to be them.
I don't think I've ever been offended by British humour. I love the sarcasm of British humor, and I also love the juxtaposition between this kind of posh idealism with like low-class dirty shit. It's funny.
Number 10, the majority of museums in London are free. And we do actually use them quite a lot. There's been a big increase in Brits trying to do cultural things, which I think is great.
That is great.
Hasn't quite reached me yet. But I did go to the museum in my village last year, so that was great.
Okay. We have free museums in the United States, but you know what? The parking's not free. That's how they get you.
Number 11, if you are invited to the home of a British person, if they are providing a meal or a party for you, then you are sort of expected to bring some sort of gift. Normally a bottle of wine, some flowers, or chocolates.
Yeah.
If you don't bring a gift, we wouldn't say anything about it, but we would silently judge you.
Yeah, that's something my parents always taught me, but at the same time, I feel like if I go to someone's house and I bring a bottle of wine, there's also this other etiquette thing where the host feels like they should open that bottle of wine for you specifically. But no, I'm just bringing this for everybody to enjoy. Maybe don't even open it while I'm here. Have it later. It's for you for later. I don't want to drink it right now. I don't even like wine. It's a weird interaction of etiquette that doesn't really work all the time. Also, if it's just a casual friend and I'm going over to their house, I'm not going to bring them a bottle of wine.
Number 12, we are absolutely obsessed with our animals here. By animals, I mean pets. We put our pets before our own children sometimes.
Absolutely.
We are dog and cat crazy.
I'm a dog lover. Dogs are better than people. I'm with that. I'm going to stop talking about dogs right now because I don't want to cry.
Number 13, as soon as the sun comes out, we leave work, when it's a good time to leave work, normally 5 o'clock, and we go straight to a pub garden. We don't go inside the pub, we go straight to the pub garden, or if there's no direct route to the garden, then we will march through the pub directly to the garden. We love a pub garden. In fact, when I finish this video, I'm going straight there with my neighbour.
In America, we have things called beer gardens. Is that the same thing?
14, that brings me on to our drinking culture. It's quite bad, but it's getting better. It's very normal to see some very, very drunk people on Friday and Saturday nights and Sunday nights if it's a bank holiday, which means we have the Monday off work. But millennials, our younger generation, are drinking less, which is a very good thing, and binge drinking cases are going down.
I've watched a few other videos about British pulp culture. It was really fascinating. It's great that people are drinking less, but not great that people are losing out on that communal feeling of going to the pub and having a drink with their neighbor.
Number 15, if we hold open a door for you, which we probably will, we expect a thank you. However, if somebody holds a door open for us and it's actually at a really awkward distance, so we have to kind of walk faster and they have to wait for ages holding the door, both parties hate this situation, but we still say thank you and we still do it because
Same.
I don't know why. It's polite.
Same in America, although sometimes people don't want you to hold the door for them because of the patriarchy.
Number 16, we are... this is divided. Some of us are very polite drivers and some of us are very rude. The polite drivers will probably let you through, but they will expect a thank you. We live for that thank you wave. Sometimes people just lift a finger and that's enough. I just like the acknowledgement. I'm a polite driver. Polite drivers also love to tut and shake their head at impolite drivers who have not thanked you for letting them pass.
Same here. I do let people in traffic. I'm doing you a favor. So at least lift your hand up to me and do this. That's all I ask.
Number 17, in many cultures around the globe, women want to have lighter skin, but in the UK, we want to have darker skin. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us like to use fake tanning products to make our skin darker. I must admit, I've got some on today. I'm a very light shade of orange, on my knees particularly. And we don't have much sun, we don't get much chance to tan. And having a tanned complexion, I think, is almost a sign of wealth, like you've been on holiday recently. I just think I look healthier with a bit of a tan, but you might not agree.
Personally, I'm the opposite. I put sunscreen on every day. The sun in Los Angeles is like a laser beam.
Number 18, we are very divided over the royal family. Some people think it brings in loads of tourism and money. Some people think that they spend way too much money, and there's never really been a study to show whether they bring a profit or loss to the country.
Really?
So it's a funny one. We just don't know.
That's suspicious.
Number 19, the weather in summer can never be guaranteed. So we don't actually go on holiday in our own country that much. We do, but we can't guarantee it's going to be a sunny beach holiday. A couple of years ago, my family and I went away to Cornwall to a beach resort and there was not a single day of sunshine. It poured it down the entire time. And we just said, never again. We will always go abroad now. Number 21, we like to thank the bus driver when we get off the bus.
I do
in
that.
In London, on the school bus, anywhere, it's pretty normal to say thank you as we get off.
Yeah, I can't say that that's normal to do in the United States, but I do it and I've seen other people do it.
My school bus driver was absolutely amazing. He actually used to buy us all Easter eggs. A whole school bus of children. He was lovely. His name was Roger. I hope I get to see him again.
Roger may have had some alternative motives.
Number 22, dinner is often our biggest meal of the day. I'm talking about evening dinner. We have a fairly heavy breakfast, a light lunch, and then a heavy dinner. And we normally have breakfast between 7 and 8, lunch between 12 and 1, and dinner between 6 and 7 normally.
That seems like a wide generalization. Everyone in Britain does that? Maybe they do.
Number 23, how are you and you all right are not genuine questions. If we say, hi, you're right, I don't actually expect you to answer saying, well, actually, no, I'm not. My goldfish died. I just expect you to say, yeah, you're right. And that's it. Top quality interaction.
Same here.
Number 24, our population is incredibly diverse. In London, for example, in 2011, when they did the census that they do every 10 years, 44.9% of the population were white British. That means London as a city is so diverse, and it's something that a lot of us are really proud of. However, if you go up to the northeast, 93.6% of the population were white British. So it's not evenly distributed.
That's a big difference. Lucy, my American reaction to that is you ain't seen nothing.
Number 25, we care a lot about where you stand on an escalator, and we will tut and shake our heads if you stand in the wrong place. And I always see tourists do this. You have to stand on the right and you have to leave enough room for busy, rushy people to overtake you.
Yes.
Otherwise, they won't say anything, but they'll stand there and tut and maybe even say, excuse me, excuse me. Just be prepared. 26, we drink beer and cider in pints. Sometimes we drink a half pint, and our beer is sometimes served warm. Not lagers, but our British ales, we serve them at room temperature, and that can be shocking for some people.
I have had room temperature beer before. There's actually a lot more flavor when it's room temperature than when it's cold.
27, we are terrified of wasps. The most serious, straight-laced person is likely to cause a massive flap and go, whoa, if a wasp comes. I was in a church watching a wedding ceremony the other day, and a wasp came and it was absolute carnage. And of course, all the women had flower decorations in their hair, which just made it all the more hilarious. I just observed and thought, I'm going to put this in a video. Number 28, our winters are really dark. In the peak of winter, the sun doesn't come up till past 9, and it goes down just after 3. It means that you can go into the office and leave the office without seeing sunlight. It is really quite intense.
I don't think I could deal with that. I need that sun.
29, carpets are a key feature in our houses, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. Carpets in a bedroom, okay, but in a lot of old-fashioned houses, we have carpets in the bathroom, which I don't think is hygienic.
Yeah.
And it shocks quite a lot of people when they come over here. We also have carpets on the stairs, which are really, really hard to clean. I know that when I design my own house, I won't be having so much carpet in it.
Carpet in the bathroom? Doesn't that get gross? What if the toilet overflows? Do you have to replace all the carpet?
Number 30, our plugs are different. We have a 3-pronged plug, which is different to the European plugs, so make sure you bring an adapter with you. Let me see if I have a plug.
Oh, so it's different from European. I just thought it was different from American.
But I'm so hot.
But it's different. Okay.
Yeah, this is our plug. It's a 3-pronged plug. And this is an earth prong. Tom Scott has got a really good video on this. This is going to be one of 2 times that I recommend his videos. In this video. I think he's got a video explaining that, and it's a really good one, so I'll link it down below. I am going to mention another of his videos later on. 31, our society really doesn't prioritise religion. Church attendance and membership numbers have been falling drastically. In the 1930s, church membership was at 30%, and now it is at 10% or lower. A lot of people just go to church on really important events like weddings, Christmas, and maybe Easter.
I think in the US that trend is happening too. Less people are going to organized religion places, but I don't think it's as low as 10%.
Number 32, we often have separate taps, or faucets as you might call them, for hot and cold water, especially in old-fashioned houses. This is where I talk about Scomtot. This is where I talk about Tom Scott's video. He's got a really, really good video explaining why this is, because I've always wondered, because I've always grown up with having to choose between boiling hot water on my face or freezing cold water on my face, and just thinking, why can't we just mix them?
Yeah.
We do have mixer taps now, but it was something to do with the tanks that stored hot water. They couldn't legally be mixed with drinking water, hence why hot in one, cold drinking water in another. Again, it's something I have in my house right now, but when I move into my own house, I will be making sure that all taps are mixed taps.
That sort of makes sense that they wouldn't let you legally mix them, because I know in a hot water heater, the heat can make the pipe release particles, and you don't want to drink those particles, right? Right.
Number 33, we drive on the left, but we walk on the right. So you must drive on the left-hand side of the road, but you must go up the escalator on the right.
Oh.
Number 34, when something is in fashion, all women end up wearing the same thing, even if it doesn't suit them. I've had so many friends come over from abroad and say, oh my God, everyone is wearing the same thing. And I hadn't noticed it before, but it is true. I remember there was a fashion of like quite see-through black leggings, and they didn't look good on anyone, but everyone seemed to wear them with the wrong coloured underwear underneath. Number 35, when we're 18, we are sort of expected by our parents to move out and start our lives. In a lot of countries,
here too.
People will stay with their parents till they're well in their 30s. Here, we just want to get out as soon as possible, and our parents want us out as soon as possible.
Same.
If we go to university, we go at 18, and we normally go to a university that's quite far from our own home. However, if we're going to start a job straight away, then yes, we might stay with our parents a bit longer. It is becoming more common to move back in with your parents after you finish university. That is something that I did for 6-ish months when I was starting my business after graduating.
Same here.
Number 36, our university fees are high. Very, very high.
Well.
For UK residents, £9,000 a year, grand is pounds, £1,000, £9,000 a year. And for international students, it can be much, much higher.
We got that here too. And it's more than £9,000.
Number 37, we have ice cream trucks that drive around our villages playing a tune, like a little dingy bell tune. And
Same.
It's the most exciting sound as a child. I never had it because I lived in a rural village. But when I went to the park or to see friends, I remember hearing this noise and being like, "Ah, the ice cream man." But I think my friend's mum told her that the ice cream man only played this tune when he'd run out of ice cream, which I think is the meanest thing ever.
We have ice cream trucks too. In fact, there'll probably be one driving around here later today. It's almost every day.
Number 38, we don't use our car horns that often. They are for angry emergencies. Or just emergencies, not necessarily angry ones. I went to Bali last year or the year before, and they just use them all the time to say hello and to nudge people. No, over here, car horns are quite a big deal. And if someone beeps their horn at you, you spend the rest of the car journey getting over it. I've had one car horn ruin my entire day.
Yeah, I think in America it's very similar. People don't use their horns just to say hello, but I have noticed that there's a language with how you use your horn. If you just do 2 little beeps, beep, beep, that means, hey, I'm here, look out. But if you lay on it, that means go f yourself.
39. Car drivers hate cyclists, and cyclists hate car drivers.
Yes.
It's a war on the road at the moment.
Yes.
Cycling has increased massively in popularity, and car drivers are not happy about it.
Same in America, and I would add pedestrians to that list too. Pedestrians hate cyclists who hate car drivers who hate pedestrians. It's a trifecta of competition and anger and fighting to not die.
40. Our supermarkets are very big and they have a huge range of pre-prepared food, so ready meals to cook in the microwave. I've been to lots of other countries and I've never seen the range that we have, apart from perhaps in America.
I was going to say.
41. If we live in a city, we tend to totally mind our own business. We don't talk to our neighbours. We may be stretched to a hello sometimes, and you really don't get to know people outside of your own friend group and your social activities and work. In a village, however, it's completely different and you have quite a hard time protecting your business. If you tell the secret to someone, the whole village will know. I kind of like it though.
I think that's similar in the US. In big cities, if a stranger approaches you and starts a conversation, you're a little more likely to think that they're trying to scam you or they're up to something. But in smaller towns, you feel a little more safe. If someone is trying to scam you or something, word gets around quick.
Number 42, we find it incredibly rude if somebody talks on their phone loudly on public transport.
Oh, yeah.
And the best example of this is the train going to and from Luton Airport and Gatwick Airport. You can see before it arrives to Gatwick, everyone's just sitting in silence. And then as soon as you've gone past it, it's just filled with tourists that don't know, our society rules, just talking really, really loudly to their mums, say that they've arrived safely, and all of the British people looking like they're talking loudly on public transport. What do we do?
That's something that happens in America too, but most people just tolerate it and don't even say anything. We just accept it, put our headphones on, and keep riding the train.
43, our tabloid gossip newspapers are disgusting. They are terrible. They lie so much, but we all secretly read them. I can't say all of us, but many of us will secretly read the Daily Mail.
I don't have much personal experience with that, but I know that we have some pretty crazy journalistic standards here as well.
44. In the countryside especially, we have milk delivered to our doorstep in bottles. And it's something that I'm very passionate about. I'm really passionate about supporting our local milkman and supporting our local dairy farmers. I get my milk delivered on Monday and Thursday, and I love it. It's amazing. We always have fresh milk at the door.
That's nice. I think we used to have that in America up through the 1950s, but for whatever reason it stopped. I don't know why. There's actually a phrase called the milkman's baby. So that means that a kid doesn't look like his dad. Probably the milkman's kid. Maybe that's why it stopped.
45. We generally tip 10% in restaurants. And we prefer to tip it in cash because then we know it goes directly to the waiter or waitress. However, some restaurants, especially London restaurants or chain restaurants, will already add a service charge to your bill, which is normally 12.5%. And some of us will get very angry about this and will ask for that to be taken off and will instead give cash directly to the waiter or waitress because we know that they are not on the best wages and those tips form a big part of what they earn. And yes, I do that.
Well, I was under the impression that people just don't tip at all in the UK. 10%'s nothing. We do 15 to 20. Actually, 20% here is the standard.
46. We're very indirect. Instead of saying, I don't like it, we would say, well, I don't hate it. Or, it's not my cup of tea. We just hate being straight to the point. We don't like offending people. But it can be very, very confusing for people who aren't from here.
Yeah, in the US, if someone doesn't like something, they're probably going to tell you and have no qualms about it. We have a little bit of that, though.
47. Most Sundays, we have a meal called a Sunday roast. We normally have it in a pub or our mum will cook it for us. And it's the best meal in the world. And everyone's favourite Sunday roast is their mum's Sunday roast. And their mum's Sunday roast is supposedly better than any other Sunday roast. But everyone says that. But my mum's genuinely is the best.
So when she says roast, does she actually mean like a big piece of beef roasted? Or does she just mean that as the title for the meal?
48. Although fish and chips are really famous here, I would say that going out for a Chinese and going out for a curry are way more popular. We do that way more often. Fish and chips, I probably have it once every 2 years. Fish and chip shops have declined in quality.
I'm not sure, but I imagine some curry is probably healthier than fish and chips. So it's probably a good thing.
Number 49, we will do literally everything in our power to avoid the most minor awkward situation. I was walking with my friend the other day. She is quite awkward and she had a plastic bag full of shopping. She saw someone she knew, the bag broke and emptied out, but instead of stopping to pick it up, which would mean she would have to talk to this person, she just carried on walking with an empty bag.
Oh, that's weird.
And I just thought that is peak British there. Number 50, women seriously underdress for the weather on nights out. On New Year's Eve, you will see women in like bikini tops and tiny dresses, bare legs, strappy heels, but they don't necessarily get cold. And this is a phenomenon we like to call the beer blanket. Once you have enough beer in you, you can't feel the cold.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Right, those are my 50 random, weird and just a bit quirky facts about British culture and British life. I hope you enjoyed them.
Yeah, thanks Lucy for an interesting video. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.